Welcome to Ottawa Experts. My name is Moira Hutchison. I am a hypnotherapist and a life coach. It's my passion and my mission to help people get unstuck. I basically specialize in stress management, helping people lose weight and learn how to introduce mindfulness into their lives. So the show tonight, I have two wonderful guests, and we are going to sit and talk about the different ways people find that they get stuck and how we can help them get unstuck. So my first guest is Caroline Midgley. She is a wellness and marketing consultant. She helps people feel fabulous in their 50s and sensational in their 60s. Thank you so much for joining me, Caroline.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure to be with you, Moira.
Awesome. And my second guest is Sarah Roberts. She's the founder of Living at One, which is an event location where they teach people how to craft their entrepreneurs craft their message, and once they've got that straight, they help them host live events and workshops.
Absolutely.
So, welcome.
Thank you so much for having both of us here. We're
Awesome.
really looking forward to the conversation.
Excellent. So, like I said, I want this to just be like a kind of an open discussion. We've talked about this before. What comes up when I say stuck? What does feeling stuck mean to you, Sarah?
When I think about stuck, I think about people in relationships where they're feeling stuck in relationships, or even in career where they feel like maybe they're on a dead-end path, or they're not sure where they're headed. I think of just so many areas of life where people can just feel that feeling of stuckness, where it's you just don't know what direction to take, and
Absolutely.
you feel mired in that feeling.
Yeah, almost as if that even no matter what you do,
Yeah.
you're going to keep coming back to that same position.
Yeah,
And
it's almost a helpless feeling, a feeling of just really being, like I say, just mired down in that feeling.
No, that's a good word, helpless. Because I don't know about you, but I've had conversations with people so many times that they think that they've tried everything and everything's failed, and so therefore maybe they have to accept that this is where they're going to be. How about you, Caroline?
Well, I think because you talked about me, in terms of helping people be spectacular in their 60s and beyond, a lot of the people that I come in contact with are stuck in a mindset about aging.
Right.
And a lot of the things that they say are, well, they have pain, they're feeling really tired, they just say, well, it all has to do with aging. They're gaining weight, it has to do with aging. And it really doesn't have to be that way.
You're such a brilliant testament to that. I mean, I'm so honored to know this woman.
She's amazing. One of my favorite quotes from Caroline is, "I'm not into meds, I'm into wellness." And I will never forget it. I just love it. It's so true. And she doesn't just, talk the talk. She really lives it. She walks it.
Because what I like to do is really help people take charge of their health.
Right.
And take leadership in their own health, because we're all responsible for the health that we have. And so the idea that you would just be stuck there, and then the other area that people find, I sometimes see that people get stuck is, especially when they've retired and feel that they no longer have any contribution to make to society. And so sometimes people volunteer, but oftentimes they just stay stuck.
Yeah.
And if they're fortunate enough to be able to travel and do all kinds of wonderful things, but not everyone can do that.
Right.
And so I've found that, for example, that I help people stay healthy through the wellness area, but also through a company that I market for called Seniors on Site, where we hire people who are 50 plus to work with families and seniors in their homes. And when we launched the company 5 years ago, it was just amazing the hope that there was in people's voices when they thought that you wanted to hire somebody who was over 50, So it's that kind of thing, that to realize that there are other options out there for people to consider and look at and see how they can
get unstuck. Absolutely. So we have lots more to talk about getting unstuck. If there's anything that any of our viewers resonate with or would like to phone in and ask us, please do call in with any questions. We'd love to make this interactive with you also. But you just touched on something that I think is really important with this whole concept of being stuck, is that, I don't know about you, I've been stuck many times in my life, and I have a pretty spectacular story of that, which I'll share later, about getting through that part. But I think the piece is not recognizing that there's somewhere different. And so like in your example of the seniors, all they can see is I'm a specific age and I can't be hired. I've heard a lot of that. It's the ageism type issues, and so it's like you get hooked by a fear that connects with something in you, and then you make it your truth, right? That you hit this certain age, you know, my life's over, and all I have now is bad health and medications, and it's just a spiral. The thing about what I love about this Seniors on Site is that it's proactive, because it not only is giving to the elderly population, but it's actually utilizing skills that maybe nobody's really allowing them to get to use.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just wanted to say about even placing the label on ourselves. I think so often we, you know, if we are, you know, in your situation with retired people, you know, they place that label on themselves. I'm retired. I'm therefore not useful anymore. I'm not able to share my gifts. And I just, you know, I can imagine the frustration that people can feel. But that idea of maybe mentoring or using what you know, the knowledge that you've acquired over all those years of work, I mean, it's overwhelming to imagine how much is out there, and those silos of knowledge are living.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
I agree with that.
So to tap that.
And there's another company out there as well that is doing this, and they're matching candidates who are 45 plus with companies. It's called the Third Quarter. And it'll be soon expanding across Canada. So it's really quite amazing. So I think things will start to change and get away from the TV kind of ads that we see and bombarded with that, you know, tell us that we're all going to be...
meds that you need to take.
Here are the meds that you're going to need to take, but also that you're going to be living your last 10 years, you know, in illness.
Yes.
And so that's the kind of things that we have to really take care not to buy into.
And that's well said. That's the thing. Do you know that? Have you seen that ad where it's a split screen, and on one side it's the guy is aging and has emphysema and he's in the hospital, and on the other side he's got vibrant health. It's like I love that.
Shoppers Drug Mart or something.
I don't know who it's for. I just love the symbology of that, because it's like, well, look, you can choose, and people like you are saying it is a choice, and here's how you can do it.
But it's so, you know, we're talking about being stuck, and I just think that it's so frustrating for people that do get stuck talking about health and wellness, that, you know, with so many food choices out there, all of these terrible choices that people are making, but it's because of the marketing and the, you know, the messaging that's out there that's helping us to be addicted to all of this, you know, these types of foods. And I just think that's such a challenge for so many people that, you know, they get addicted to, you know, to things. And I know we're going to talk about addiction more, but just this idea of people, you know, those Coca-Cola and McDonald's and those other ones, and I don't, you know, not to name names, but just they're not there when you end up sick in the hospital at the end. You know, we have to take control of our own health, and that's, you know, as simple as it gets.
No, and that's so true that, in fact, my husband was having a conversation just yesterday about, they were talking about smokers, people who smoke, and saying, you know, it used to be that people could smoke all their lives and never have health issues, and you can always name somebody, and then of course the cigarette companies aren't ever there to pick up the health bills of the people that need it. But it really struck me when I was just earwigging the conversation. Wasn't really part of it, but it really struck me that part of it is awareness. I used to smoke, and it was considered glamorous, and you were part of the in crowd if you smoked, right? And then awareness starts. You start to learn it's not good for you, and it is habit forming, and it is damaging to your health. And I actually do remember when I did quit, there was this huge catalog of health issues that I had that I didn't know about because the cigarettes were masking it. And so it's all about, I think that it's so important to me to help people realize you have to choose. If you're stuck, you're maybe not pausing for a minute and saying, what choices can I make here? Because even if you're overweight because you've been eating the foods that you shouldn't be or that are not good for you, you can choose. You can change that tomorrow, right now, as opposed to saying, I've always been this way. My family always ate this way, or, do you know, I think that there's a piece that's it's starting to improve.
And I think it's interesting, you used the word awareness, sorry, but when you were talking about that, it really made me realize that I think we all know what's good for us and what's not. Even when I was smoking for years and I did the same thing, I knew it wasn't good for me, you know, even though they weren't necessarily saying it was all that bad, but you know, we all know I think we all know when we're doing something that's healthy and when we're doing something that's damaging, but it's that awareness piece that I think is really key to the idea of getting unstuck in something.
Well, one of the things that the company that I work with in wellness is called Evolve Health. And the whole idea is to evolve your health by taking just like 2 small changes every day for, let's say, 3 months. And it's just amazing to see the kind of change people can make in their whole life just by doing that, because it's in a block, it's manageable, and then you can take it beyond. And so there's really wonderful ways that people can do things, and just to take that first step. Sometimes that's the hardest step.
Exactly. And you know, you're so right with what you say there. I often say this too, that instead of, if you have to quit the smoking or lose 30, 40 pounds, don't look at that. Look at that first step.
It's daunting.
I know it is daunting, and that'll often be the thing that keeps the person stuck.
For sure.
Is because all they can see is the not feeling good right here, and the huge insurmountable task to get out of that is just too much.
And then even if they make some small gains, because their eye is so far ahead in the future, they're not able to acknowledge those small gains and those small improvements that they've made, and they just see that they have failed, and they go right back to, well, if I'm going to fail, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing then. Because that felt better.
Better, right? Because that's
comfortable.
It's comfort. And I think that's another big part of stuck. Right? Is that it's comfort, it's all you've known, it's all you've seen, which is going back to what I had said about awareness and responsibility. Because truth is, if you want to get unstuck, you do have to take responsibility.
For sure.
But you know, I've been doing a lot of reading, and as both of you know, I'm always training and learning the new things.
Every day.
That's why we love
something new. It's amazing. And then she tries her stuff out on us. It's great.
But there's this new trend of trying to redefine the word responsibility, because responsibility used to be such a big burdensome thing. You know, it meant
it feels heavy.
Yeah, it does feel heavy. But there's a thing that's starting to evolve that says it could be uplifting.
I love it.
I do too.
Yeah,
and
I really
so
see the positive of that.
And something struck me when I was thinking about that, is that maybe if you could just break it apart and say it's the ability to respond. Responsibility.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
That is very good.
Yeah, and so then you can, that to me would maybe be a one first step towards getting out of, like I have the ability to respond to this. So, and that's what we were saying about if you're looking at a huge goal, and you could just say, maybe just for this moment, I won't respond to that hamburger or that chocolate or that drink, right? That you can respond.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you do, it's not the end, and you can take other steps, right? But tomorrow is another day, or the next moment is another moment, but you can make another healthy choice.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you.
When we come back, we will explore more ways of actually getting unstuck. Thank you.